So he was like the proper father figure, wasn't he? Legacy. Anyway, October Red Boxing here with the legacy Ingle, the son that carries it on, the son that carries on the name. Welcome back, Dom.
Thanks a lot. How are you?
Not too bad. Just talking about, obviously, Kid, or as you call him, Barry. I always get confused. Barry Galahad going up against Maxi Hughes. And we were talking off camera. It's quite an interesting fight.
It's an interesting fight in the sense that obviously after Barry's last loss, the devastating way he got beat, and obviously Maxi's, doing well at the moment. It is an interesting fight. On paper, Barry is the better fighter. He's won a legitimate world championship, gone through the process, boxed in America, boxed some big names. Maxi's been more kind of domestic in the rise what he's done, and he's got his belt to defend on Saturday. So it's one of those things. Is Kid Galahad going to turn up on form after the last loss, and can Maxi keep his cool and keep it under control, and that's going to be the big factor. So I'm looking forward to the fight. It's a good step up for Barry. It's a great fight to come back into, because you don't want to be starting back at the bottom and fighting 10 and 8 rounders. You want to go back in with something that means something, and on Saturday night the IBO belt does.
And that's what we want to hear. It's something that I think was instilled in Barry from the beginning. Something that obviously he's travelled on from your father. Like I said, I'll mention it, Boxing King Media did a fantastic conversation with you the other day, speaking about the drills that your father had Barry doing when he first came into the gym. And it's about his sort of like his focused mindset of, I will do this.
Yeah, like he said in that up there on the stage that afterwards, after we talked about Kiko Martinez and he got dropped, I said to me, "All right?" He went, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he went back out again, and he says, "I wasn't fine." He says, "But I'm not going to turn around and say I'm not fine." That's what it is. I'm in that position. I'm the world champion. I've got to the highest point in my career. I can't then all of a sudden think, "Oh, I don't feel right. I'm going to sit down and pull me out of the fight." And to me, it did seem all right, because you know what kids are made of. And like you mentioned to Mike, say that he got a bit of a whack in the nose, and it was like, "Oh, pull me out, my nose is broke," and that does say a lot. It's like you can never say you're a different fighter. You can't ever say, "Well, I've got past that," because you don't. It's just there's levels, and there's a quit level, and some people's quit level is very, very, very high. You know what I mean? Up to 99%. You've got to be pushing them beyond before they quit. And some people, they get to a certain point where they're not comfortable, and they're like, "You know what? I'm done." And I think that's where it is with Galahad and Maxi. Barry's got a very, very high quit level. Maxi's a little bit lower. I think it's great when he's going his own way. He's confident in doing that. But once he has to dig in a little bit too deep, he starts to unravel a little bit. But listen, you can never say that's 100%. But on Saturday night, like I say, in southpaws, Barry can switch. They sparred before. You could never read anything into that. It was a few years ago. We're not taking anything away from that. Maxi came in from a full day at work and sparred. Sparred Barry. It was a good spar. But on Saturday night, we'll see, years later, how it's all going to pan out.
Looking back at that fight, I remember I didn't realise then, obviously, he's saying that when he came back into the ring, when he came back into the court, he said he was all right. But he wasn't.
No, he said, you know what? He said he was all right when I said, just before he stood up to go, "You're right, yeah, I'm ready I'm ready to go." And that's the thing. And, obviously when you're being hit and you're being dropped, but that's boxing. It happens in fights. You've seen it time and time again. And because of the work he did in the gym and the fitness and everything else, you've got to trust what they're saying. And, from what I was seeing as well, it's a world championship fight. It was completely outboxing Martinez, and it was down to Barry that round to get out and move, and it was only in the first couple of seconds you realise actually his legs are gone stiff, and he was a sitting duck. And that's down to the fighters never tell you in the build up to a camp what the problems are, or they're thinking about the weight, or "Oh, yeah, I've got to do this." They never admit to themselves. Barry's not one of them who'll say to me, "Oh, I've got a bit of an headache," or he's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." It's just stone faced. So you've got to learn to read them anyway. You've got to kind of preempt what they're going to do. And, obviously being a world champion, he's never going to say, "I'm not 100% for this." They're going to go through with the fight.
When you look back, because I was one of them that literally, I remember it made me fall out of my chair. He was winning, like you said. It was a beautiful boxing match to see the way he was switching, the way he was moving around on his feet. Then it seemed like out of nowhere.
You know what I call it? I call it the Harold Graham, Julian Jackson moment. Harold Graham, years and years ago, winning the fight comfortably, and just took a shot. And it happens in boxing so many times, you just don't want it to happen to you. It's there's loads of one-shot knockouts like that. And fight. Look at Manny Pacquiao against Marquez. You know what I mean? Even to the best fighters, it happens. It happened to Josh Warrington, like Barry mentioned, and proper fighters. Maxi'S right. You never get rid of the demons till you step in the ring, but some people don't get rid of the demons and they never step back into the ring. It just haunts them all their life. And that's just the way boxing is, and that tells you something about a fighter.
I was about to say, so what does that actually tell you about Barry after such like you said, a devastating knockout, and he still thinks, you know what, I'm going for it, I'm going to take his belt?
Yeah, listen, he's really no need to box in the sense, only for the achievement. He's done well out of boxing, he's earned some money, so has Maxi, but it's more than that. You've got to have the desire to win, to compete, and to prove yourself, and not be comfortable. Not be satisfied. You're always chasing something, and that's it isn't. He's been out of the ring a long time. He's trained. He's put all the work in, and we're going to see on Saturday night.
Well, obviously we wish him all the best, but just a quick word on how's Kel doing? What's he been up to? And obviously congratulations on his punch perfect win over Amir Khan, February the 19th, if my memory serves it.
Something like that. But listen, it was a great night, a great arena, a great performance. At the minute, he's just ticking over doing his thing, and I'm sure there'll be some news maybe somewhere down the line, and I'll probably see you at the gym for that.
Oh, we like it. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll speak to you soon. October Red Boxing with the lovely Mr. Ingle.
No problem.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.